I added nuclear reactors to my Minecraft mod. With 1 iron, 3 string, and 1 paper, you can make a catheter. And if you hit any enemy with the catheter, it'll spawn some P. When it dries, you can mine the P to get P crystals. With the P crystals, you can make P armor. P armor is pretty weak, but while wearing it, if you shift with an empty hand, you begin peeing on enemies. So this can make for an interesting early/mid-game weapon. With all 4 pieces of urine armor, you can craft the Totem of Pissing. And it works the same as the urine armor, except as long as you're holding it, you can pee. So you don't need to wear the armor for it. With 6 iron and 2 pistons, you can craft a circuit sandwicher. When placed down, and given power, you'll be able to input redstone and gold, and after a little bit of waiting, you'll get a complex circuit. These are used to craft most machines. Collect some of the P that you get from the catheter, and go pick up some kidney stone ore in the meat biome. These will drop kidney stones. Now in a circuit sandwicher, combine a kidney stone with a complex electronic. This will give you complex erectronic. Save this for later. There's a new boss to fight. If you sleep in a bed while holding a pee bucket, you'll summon Lenny the Licker. He's an early game boss who does quite a bit of damage, but his only attack is the melee attack, so he should be pretty easy as long as you keep your distance. When you kill Lenny, he'll drop Lenny's tongue. These tongues have a few uses. Combine one with salt, brown mushroom, and sugar, and you'll get a seasoned tongue. And if you cook the seasoned tongue, you'll get a cooked tongue. And when you eat it, you'll get 2 extra rows of hearts, plus strength 2 for 4 minutes. Pretty good if you want to get strong for an event or a boss or something. Now take those complex electronics from earlier with 6 iron and an acid cell to get a Jawbreaker refinery. Place it down and give it energy. Now with 9 sugar, you can craft a Jawbreaker. Put this inside the refinery with a tongue at the bottom, and then wait a little bit, and you'll get refined Jawbreaker ingot. With these, you can make some armor. It looks pretty snazzy, and it also has a lot of defense. With 6 iron and 1 redstone, you can get a drill. The drill is just an iron pickaxe that mines really quickly. It can be upgraded with refined Jawbreaker. This will give you the Jaw Driller, which is just the same thing but faster, has a lot of durability, and can mine diamond level. It's just the same thing but slightly faster and with a lot of durability. If you combine a drill with 3 diamonds and a tier, you get the Familiar Drill. The Familiar Drill mines even faster, although it has less durability, and it can also mine diamond level. Comment if you got the reference. With a glass, a redstone, 4 iron, and a mystery meat, you get the Actually. And you'll get a message about how these aren't actually fiber optic cables. Pretty cool. Now for the moment you've all been waiting for. Go underground and collect some uranium. It's very common, so don't really worry about not getting it. And now with 2 generators, complex erectronic intelligent kunk, and 5 iron, you'll get the nuclear reactor. Also make sure you smelt your raw uranium. Although be careful, because when it's in your inventory, it will damage you. This is the inside of the reactor. Add your uranium, and give it a redstone signal. Now you can see we're making energy, but we're also making heat. You can combat this by putting ice on top. Now you can see the reactor is losing heat instead of gaining it. And we're getting a ton of energy. Although if you don't have ice, and you wait for the heat to build up, that'll happen. So you really want to handle these with care. But you can make something safer. With a nuclear reactor, barbed wire, 4 iron, an intelligent kunk, and 2 alien technology, you can make the villager reactor. Now instead of you being hurt, it's actually going to be, well, you know, just put a villager inside, and you can see it'll start damaging the villager. And for every hit of damage, we get a ton of energy. Very effective. It's kind of fun to industrialize, not gonna lie. I added marijuana, sewers, and hot dogs to my Minecraft mod. Start by exploring underground, but be careful because when exploring caves, you might occasionally find these methane clouds. Be careful though, because if you walk into them while holding a torch, they'll explode violently. Same thing will happen if torches are near the methane clouds. Eventually you'll find these houses underground, and sometimes the chests might have hemp seeds. Make sure you take the hemp seeds. Back up at the surface, we can plant these down. They grow relatively fast, and eventually you'll be left with these hemp plants. Pick them up, and you'll get some hemp. Hemp can be used to make string and paper, and you can replant the hemp seeds you get too. Eventually you might get lucky, and you'll find some weed seeds instead of hemp seeds. We've successfully cultivated weed along with hemp. Plant the weed seed down, and grow it. You'll get weed seeds, and you'll get weed. You've officially started a weed farm. Make some paper out of your hemp, and with 6 paper and 3 weed, you can make a joint. And if you hold flint and steel in your offhand while holding a joint, and hold down right click, you'll light the joint. Now if you charge up while holding the ripped joint, you'll release smoke, and you'll be given the baked effect. This effect will occasionally make it harder to open things like doors or chests, or anything with a right-click function. There is a way to get rid of it, however. Some mystery meat out of rotten flesh and red dye, and take 2 mystery meat in a hot dog wrapper to get a raw sausage. Now just smelt the raw sausage, and you'll be given a sausage. And when eaten, you'll be cleared of the baked effect. There are other things to do with joints, though. We can use them for medicinal purposes. Craft an infusing table, and open it. Inside you'll see there's a slot for your joint, a slot for flint and steel, and then in the top you can put whatever you want. And depending on what item you put inside, will depend on what you get as your output. So for example, if I do 2 coals, I got my ripped joint back, but now if I smoke it, I'll be given haste along with my baked. This also stacks, by the way. If I smoke this one, I have an even higher level of haste. You can also do other effects, like if I did Cloudy Kunk, for example, you can see now I have regeneration. Or if I wanted to add on some sugar, I now have really, really, really high speed. Pretty useful, and there's a lot you can get out of this. With some complex electronic, 5 iron, and 2 ripped joints, you can make a smoke machine. And when placed down, it will emit this smoke effect around the area. With 6 paper, you can make a calendar, and when right-clicked, it'll tell you the date. Use your joints and collect a ton of cobblestone. And with 9 cobblestone, you can make compressed cobblestone. And with 9 compressed cobblestone, you can make super compressed cobblestone. And with 9 super compressed cobblestone, you can make a black hole. And when thrown, before I show you what happens, do you want to be in a wheateneye video? Well, now's your chance! I've officially started another public server experiment. This time it's modded. I have a link in the description and in the pinned comment where you can download the mods required, so that way you can join the server and you might be in a video! Here's the IP, enjoy. It creates a massive explosion. Yeah, pretty fun to spam. If you want a new side hustle, explore the city at night, because you'll find hobos around. You'll be able to sell them your weed. But be careful, because selling weed to a hobo might reveal that they're an undercover cop. These cops do a lot of damage and are very fast, so be careful, make sure you're kitted out. But you can see 10 weed for $2 isn't really good. There's something better we can sell. And if we want that, we're gonna have to explore. When exploring around, you might find these sewer grates sticking out of the ground. This will lead to the biggest part of this update. Break the grates and go down. We are now in the sewer. The sewer is a winding maze with lots of tunnels and some special rooms. But there's one thing specifically that we're looking for. Occasionally they might have an end portal, but there's something else we're here for. Occasionally you might find this room here, and you'll find the drug dealer. If you talk to him, he says he'll sell you some seeds for 50 of your weeds. What he doesn't know is these seeds grow into something that's way more valuable than the weed we're giving him. So we're totally gonna buy this. We have opium seeds. Now you can plant these like the weed, and they'll grow into opium pods. You can now collect these, because the hobo will buy one of these for $2. Unless it's an undercover cop, then it'll just kill you. There's one last thing we're yet to see. Use an intelligent kunk, some neodymium, some meat blocks and circuits, and you'll be given a meat item server. And with a sausage, complex electronics, an ender chest, meat blocks, and an intelligent kunk, you'll get a meat storage router. And lastly, take some intelligent kunk and surround it with mystery meat, and you'll get intelligent meat. Now if I place my item servers down, notice how they're in completely different spots. Say I put my wheat and hemp in this one, and I put my bone meal in this one. I can take an intelligent meat and shift right click on it to save its location. And inside the storage router, we can input one of our intelligent meats and click view to see what is inside that meat storage. And we can do this within either one. So it's basically just wireless storage through meat. A really handy late game storage up. And you can even store extra meats over here. And you can put these meat storage routers however far away you want, and you'll still be able to access them as long as the chunk is loaded. I added organ harvesting to Minecraft, but how do we get there? You'll notice you'll spawn with a book, but it's not too helpful. Start by grabbing some dirt and collecting a rock from it. Now harvest some sticks from dead bushes or leaves. Now explore around till you get some hemp seeds. And now with a rock and a stick, you can make a crude scalpel. If you right click with the scalpel, you'll deal damage to yourself, but you also might get some mystery meat. Now eat the mystery meat, and then wait a minute for your bowels to clear out. You can also eat more mystery meat to accelerate the process. Now you have poop. Hemp can be planted on any dirt, even if it's not farmland. Right click with poop to fertilize it. Eventually you'll get a fully grown hemp plant. Hopefully you don't get weed seeds as your only drop. Now I need to go find more. Use the hemp you collected to make string. And now with a string, a stick, and 2 rocks, you can make a primitive tool. Now go look for some coal. And also grab some clay. And lastly, use your string to make wicker. With wicker and 3 sticks, you can make a filter. Now find some gravel and right-click to sift through it. Hopefully you'll get some iron dust. Keep sifting until you get 5 more for a total of 6. Also worth noting that with 2 wools, you can make adequate bedding. When you right-click on adequate bedding, you save your spawn point, but unlike a regular bed, you don't skip the night with it. Now take 3 sticks and a coal to make a campfire. Place it down, and you can put your iron dust on it. While that cooks, go chop down a tree for some logs. And you'll be given crude iron when it's done. With 4 crude iron, you can make saw blade. And with 2 oak logs and a saw blade, you can make a sawmill. Put your logs inside and you'll be given oak planks. This is how you get planks now. Smelt some more iron. And now with 2 oak planks and 2 crappy iron, you can make your crafting table. The furnace recipe was also changed. Put oak logs on a campfire to get charcoal. And now put your clay on a campfire to get bricks. Now with 5 bricks and 4 charcoal, you can make a crucible. And now with 6 cobblestone, your crucible, and 2 crappy iron, you can make a furnace. Now you can smelt things. Iron dust can be smelted into regular iron in here. And now we've officially escaped the hood. Alternatively, if you spawn in a city biome, you can search through garbage cans to get loot. That'll help you progress. With a stick and iron, you can make a scalpel. This one's a lot more effective than the previous. Then wait till night, and you can use the scalpel on hobos. You'll have a chance to get random organs, and you can see here we got a heart. A heart is actually one of the rarest organs, and it's also one of the most valuable. But valuable how? When searching garbage cans, you have a chance to get an onion. And when grown, you'll get more onions. And with a complex electronic, glass, iron, and an onion, you'll get Tor browser. And when in the city biome, go find the public library structure. And in the back, you'll see they have computers here. Shift right-click on a computer with Tor browser to get the dark web. Here you can sell the organs you've collected for lots of money. See, if I put a heart in here and I click sell, I get $35. Pretty good for accumulating wealth. With 2 testicles, 2 mystery meat, and 1 string, you can make the testikill. This is a special weapon that functions like a flail mace. Right click, and you can see I damaged the spider and make it go flying with my flail. It has pretty high range, but not unlimited. You can see I can't reach that spider over there because the flail can't reach it. It's a pretty fun weapon, and it's pretty effective in mid-game. When scalpeled, hobos will very rarely drop a metal plate. This item cannot be sold, but it can be smelted to get an iron ingot. When you eat an onion, you'll be given the onion breath effect. And if you shift while holding a bottle when you're under this effect, you'll collect your bad breath. Your bad breath is very germy, so with a bad breath and 4 glass, you can make a petri dish to collect those bacterias. When placed down and then broken, you'll spawn in some bacterias. If you punch these bacterias, they'll drop a bacteria on the ground. And when picked up, they'll provide a random potion effect when they're in your inventory. For example, this one's giving us mining fatigue. This one gives us acrobatic. Acrobatic allows you to climb 2 high walls. And this one gives us wither. Just a little interesting mid-game boost if you want it. If you craft a printer and make some blank cards with paper, and you power the printer, you can put a blank card inside and then put any item in the game in this bottom slot. For example, if I do copper dust, if you wait a little bit, you'll get a copper dust trading card. And say if I did a metal plate, which is blue rarity, I'll be given a rare metal plate trading card. Or we could do heat death for dummies, and we'll get a heat death for dummies uncommon trading card. These work for any item in the game, and the trading card you get is based on the item's rarity. These don't really have a use yet, they're just kind of a cool way to store your items. And obviously can be traded in multiplayer. You can no longer make diamond armor the same way you're used to. You need reinforced diamond for that. With a furnace, 6 iron, and 2 complex electronics, you can make an electric furnace. The electric furnace is the same as a normal furnace, but it uses energy instead of fuel to smelt things. This thing is just pretty handy. It's not what we want. We can actually upgrade it further with a lava bucket, iron grate, complex electronics, and iron. We'll get an alloy smelter. Inside the alloy smelter, you can combine diamonds and clean kunk, and you'll be given reinforced diamond. And now this is what you use to make diamond armor and tools. But yeah, we've reached diamond level. I added the Vietnam War to Minecraft. Our adventure starts when you find a jungle biome. Jungle biomes have these really big trees, so navigating the biome was kind of like navigating a maze. Very commonly, you'll find these jungle dungeons that spawn. They're pretty dangerous though, so we're gonna need some reinforcements. With 3 iron and 1 gunpowder, you can make the chunk blaster. You're able to rob Burger Kings with these, But with some copper, gunpowder, and paper, you can make bullets. And now if you hold down with the chunk blaster, you're able to shoot your bullets. It does a fine amount of damage, about as much as you'd expect a crappy gun to do, but we can make something better. With 5 iron and a gold, we can make the chunk burster. The chunk burster shoots a 3-round burst, a lot faster than the chunk blaster shoots. It has a lot better DPS, but we can get something even better. If you get access to tungsten, you can use 2 tungsten and 3 iron to make a chunk eruptor. The eruptor works as a shotgun. Right click, and you shoot a giant cluster of shots. Enough to insta-kill spiders, so it's really good. You can tell it costs the tungsten. With our newfound gear, we can go back to the jungle dungeon. In the jungle dungeon, you'll find tree spirits, which are hostile, but they don't do a lot of damage, so they can easily be killed. But you'll also find the Viet Cong, which do a lot more damage. I recommend keeping your distance from these guys and just shooting them. You can see the guns make quick work of them. You'll see the Viet Cong drop AK-47 blueprints. Now, we also want to take the time to chop these mahogany trees that we find inside. And also, if you break the leaves, you can get the saplings. If you put mahogany logs in a sawmill, you get mahogany bark. This is one of the most important resources of the new update. With 2 iron, mahogany, an iron nugget, and AK-47 blueprints, you can make a chunk shooter. The chunk shooter is a rapid-fire assault rifle, really effective for piece control. With sticks, you can make wooden armor. Wooden armor is just made to be a really early game protection. But with mahogany bark, you can upgrade it. And now we have mahogany armor. A lot more stable, it provides exactly as much protection as diamond, and it has a special feature. Standing on leaves provides you with several buffs. You can see we have Acrobatic 2, 4D Vision, which reveals all mobs within a 20 block radius, as well as Speed 2, Resistance 3, Haste 3, and Strength. So you can make your whole base themed around leaves and be really powerful, or some sort of boss arena where you fight a homunculus. All in all, this buff can be abused, which is why I put it in the game. Do you have too much money? Well, with 3 leather, you can craft a wallet. Right-click to open the wallet, and you can store a bunch of money in here. It even has room for some trading cards, so you can keep all your riches easily accessible. They can also be dyed, just for a little bit more customization. Another Vietnam-related feature is with some wood and sticks, you can make spike traps. These also spawn in the jungle dungeon. Place them down, and anything that walks on these will take a bunch of damage. Doesn't look like it because I'm wearing armor, but if I take it off, you can see I'm taking a lot of damage. It also works on mobs. Now it's time for some technological advancements. One of the most advanced features in the new update is with 3 leather and 3 redstone, you can make conveyor belts. Throw any item onto a conveyor belt and you can see they get moved. It also works on mobs and players. Very effective for item management. With 4 iron, you can make a wrench. And if you right click on a conveyor, you can slope it. So you can easily transport items up. More useful item management stuff. With 5 iron like so, you can make a chute. Any item that's put into a chute will immediately be dropped out the bottom. So it has a lot of item transportation applications. Also worth noting that items that are dropped from a chute will not despawn, so you don't have to worry about losing your items when they're on a conveyor. Also worth noting, the machines now have hopper support, so you can hook up some chutes to machines as well. Speaking of machines, there's a ton of new ones. With 1 gravel, 1 block of iron, 5 iron, and 2 complex electronics, you can make a crusher. Place down the crusher and give it energy, and you can put any ore inside, and after you wait a little bit, you'll get 2 of the ore's dusts. And these dusts can then be smelted for their ingots, so you effectively double your ingots. And it works on any ore. Now let's talk late game. With 4 palladium ingots, 1 alien technology, 2 quartz, a bottle, and a printer, you can make a money printer. And it does exactly what you think it does. Give it some energy, and you can input dye in this top slot, and you can put paper in this slot, and after you wait a little bit, you'll get some money. Every cactus green lets you make $10. It's literally just free money, but it is late game. You can now upgrade your machines to be insanely fast. With an electric furnace, a reinforced diamond, 6 pure kunk, and 1 intelligent kunk, you can make the foundry. And now the foundry is like an electric furnace, but it's insanely fast. It smelts 1 item every second. However, it does use a lot of energy. With 2 lava buckets, 2 unfamiliar metal, a crusher, and 4 pure kunk, you can make the generational crusher. And now this is the advanced version of the crusher. Input your ores, and every second it'll finish its operation, with the cost of a lot of energy. Lastly, with 1 circuit sandwicher, 1 block of tungsten, 2 2 intelligent conch, 2 glass, and a black hole, you can make the singularity sandwicher. And now this is the advanced version of the circuit sandwicher. Give it power, and then input your copper, redstone, and silicon, and then every half second it'll complete an operation. Worth noting, the circuit recipes were changed. With a pufferfish, an orange dye, 2 mahogany bark, 2 fat, and an iron nugget, you can make Agent Orange. This is a Vietnam War thing I forgot to mention. If you right-click with Agent Orange, it kills all leaves in a 10-block radius. Pretty good for clearing out an area, or making a jungle dungeon easy to handle. Really effective for anything leaf-related. I mean, look at me just shaving this tree. With 1 intelligent conch, 1 everything ring, 1 everything tool, 2 crystallized P-blocks, and a netherite ingot, you can craft the moronic decimator. This thing has a lot of applications. Think of the atomic disassembler from Mechanism, but with more features. It can do the basic stuff like mine insanely fast, and it does a lot of damage, but it works as a scalpel, and if you shift, it works as a catheter. So it's literally everything you would need in a Wheat Death of the Universe playthrough. And it can do even more. If you shift right click, you can see it has some settings. You can make it spawn lightning very fast. Or you could put it on random effect, and you can toggle the random ring every time you right click. Which means you can get infinite food, technically. Yeah, this is the all-in-one tool, and I'll probably add more stuff to it also. Like good old Agent Orange. But we're not done with overpowered, because the Nether Star has some more recipes. With a chunk eruptor, 2 blocks of tungsten, 2 spewers, a nether star, 2 blocks of poop, and a catheter, you can create the Drawsberg. The Drawsberg is the end-all be-all chunk blaster, because it actually shoots chunks. Observe. You can see it uses poop as ammo, and every single bullet spawns in 1 P block and 1 poop block. So it's infinite poop and P, and it also replaces blocks, so it can destroy things like bedrock. Very effective. But it gets better. With a conch eruptor, 2 black holes, a forsaken foreskin, 2 blocks of palladium, a nether star, and 2 pure conch, you can create the World Eater. Now this thing is the ultimate destroyer. When I right click, every single bullet explodes with a radius of 6. And it can be spammed. This thing can easily clear out massive areas. Literally a demolitionist's wet dream. Can erase jungle fortresses in seconds. Neither of these are really that effective in combat though, but there is a gun that is. With a chunk eruptor, 2 blocks of iron, 2 gold, a blessed embryo, a nether star, and 2 reinforced diamond, you can craft Judgment Day. And when I shoot this shotgun, all the bullets create lightning. It's the most combat friendly because it's the least messy. All of them can decimate in their own ways. Here it is versus 10 Lenny the Lickers. Yeah, that was a fair fight. And here's the World Eater versus 10 Lenny the Lickers. I think I won. I don't know if there's any more alive. Drawsberg isn't really for combat, it's just more utility. I added iPad kids to Minecraft. To summon them, we need Grime, but you can see Grime has a pretty complicated recipe. Notice the refined jawbreaker and the tortured soul. Getting started should be pretty easy thanks to these food stamps. When you spawn into a world, you start with 10 food stamps, and these can be eaten for some hunger. You can also find them from breaking grass, breaking leaves, or breaking ores. You can see I just got one here. Make sure you're on the lookout for these. They might be hard to scout out, but these are called wild bushes. And if you punch them, they drop a variety of different crops. And there's a new crop we want to get from here. There we go. Evil seeds. Evil seeds are our first step towards getting the iPad kids. Just plant them and watch them grow. Or bone meal them. When they're fully grown, they will drop evil wheat. Evil wheat is a really important crafting thing, because we want to make a soul catcher. If you are farming hemp at the same time, you can make some string, and then make some wicker, and then grab some sticks. Because with 4 sticks, 1 wicker, and 4 evil wheat, we make the soul catcher. When placed down, it will slowly but surely collect souls from the atmosphere. It'll take a little bit though. And you can see we got one! Although my XP is going down. That's because every time they catch a soul, they'll give you the sinful effect, which removes your XP. Now these souls are going to be our fuel source, pretty much. Grab some more evil wheat, and with 2 evil wheat, 1 furnace, and 6 gold, we make the soul burner. Now this is pretty much our power source for the evil machines, but the evil machines work a little different from normal machines. With a crusher, 4 gold ingots, 3 evil wheat, and a soul, you make the evil crusher. This is the evil version of the crusher. Place it down nearby a soul burner, and you can see it has this interesting interface here. Now the evil crusher is used to make evil dust, which can be made with evil wheat, but you can see it doesn't work right away. That's because we have to put a soul into the soul burner, and now you can see it's powered. And we also get the sinful effect. After a little while, you see we get evil dust. This is an important milestone in our adventure. With 3 more, we can make the corruptor. Place it down nearby. Now the corruptor is really useful, because it just lets you transform certain items. Like you can turn unfamiliar metal to netherite, onions to nether wart, blood to money, cobblestone to netherrack, bricks to nether bricks, diamonds to evil stone, and it just goes on. The main reason we want this though is because if we input a soul, we get a tortured soul. And there it is, the first piece of the puzzle. Now for the refined jawbreakers. First things first, extract some pee from a mob, and then wait till night. Because we can summon a boss with this pee bucket. If you sleep into bed while holding a pee bucket, you summon Lenny the Licker. Now Lenny the Licker is a really entry-level boss. All he does is charge at you and try to attack you. Very easy, as long as you're not getting ganged up on by other mobs. Because remember, you can only do this fight during the nighttime. Or you could even put pee on him. And he's dead! He's dead and he dropped his tongue. This is useful. Now we need complex electronics to make the Jawbreaker refinery, but that requires Forsaken Foreskin, which requires killing the Forsaken, and I'm not going over that progression for the 30 billionth time. So yeah, electronics, acid cell, and 6 iron gives us the Jawbreaker refinery. And now with 9 sugar, we can make some Jawbreakers. Place down the refinery and make sure you give it some energy, because if you put Jawbreakers on the top and a Lenny tongue in the bottom, and you wait a pretty long time, you get a refined Jawbreaker ingot. There we go. Refined Jawbreakers are used for quite a bit, but remember, we want the grime. And now with a glass bottle, an acid cell, a tortured soul, 2 refined Jawbreaker ingots, salt, fat, evil dust, and an apple, we get grime. Now I don't advise drinking it, but it is needed to start the iPad Kid invasion. We need to flush grime down a toilet. To make a toilet, we need a poop block, some blocks of quartz, and a water bucket. Ta-da! Place down the toilet. Now all we need to do is pour the grime in the toilet, and that will start the invasion. It has started. Now iPad kids will start raining from the sky. There they are! There we go, we found an iPad kid! When killed, they'll drop mystery meat, but they also have some other drops, including sugar and broken iPads. Broken iPad is what we're here for, because it's needed to start an alien invasion. Oh, there we go, I got one! Broken iPad. Really nice. I'll be honest, this invasion isn't too fleshed out, but I'm gonna give it a lot of updates. If you guys want to suggest features to add to it, let me know in the comments. But yeah, if we want to end the invasion, we just have to break the toilet. And now the effect will wear off, so they stop spawning. Now, the broken iPad is used to make an alien beacon, which starts an alien invasion, but I've gone over that, so we're not gonna talk about it. I added malaria to Minecraft. When exploring around various biomes, you'll see these mosquito mobs. They're pretty easy to kill, but if you let them get close to you, they'll give you the malaria effect, which cannot be removed with milk, and it randomly gives you nausea, wither, and it damages you. So it's pretty much always deadly. There is a way to cure it, though. Occasionally in Wastelands, there's a new structure that'll spawn. This is the medical tent. But you can see there's no doctors here. There's only some free thinkers. These tents do have chests in them, where you can get vaccines. You know, if you have the malaria effect, you can right-click with a vaccine to remove it. These vaccines are also an important crafting item, because free thinkers drop a valuable item. This is the conspiracy theory. And with 5 conspiracy theories, we can make something special. With 2 vaccines, 5 conspiracy theories, a YouTube video, and a broken iPad, you get Wheatgate. And now this is used to summon a new boss, which is pretty difficult, so it's important you get geared up for sure. I definitely recommend a gun, maybe a moronic decimator, and you also want good armor. Tungsten is a good choice. Also, making remedy is a good idea because it cures you of poison. Now once you're ready, right-click to summon the Enlightened One. The Enlightened One is the mastermind behind the conspiracy theories, and you can see he throws potions very frequently. He shouldn't be too bad to kill, but if you damage him, he has a chance to explode and shoot himself into the air. I don't think he's coming down anytime soon. There he is, he keeps boosting himself up. Oh, he's going down, he's going down. I think he killed himself with fall damage. When I release the update, he's going to be immune to fall damage though, so he's going to be a lot more difficult. And also he's going to drop something that you have to figure out by downloading the mod. Anyway, unfortunately this is a really short update because I'm kind of in a pinch for time right now. But I guess for the rest of the video, I'll show off features that didn't make it into the other mod videos. This is the missile silo, and the big fat missile. If you place down a missile silo and put a big fat missile inside and give it redstone, it will start exploding. It's just kind of a fun item thing. It's actually one of the first items ever added to the mod. There's a lot of music discs too, 18 of them to be exact. Go out and collect them. This is the plains biome. The plains biome has a lot of these wild bushes, as well as dead bushes. It also has frequent spawns of emerald ore and gold ore, so it's a good place to go mining. With raw pork chops and gunpowder, you make the seasoned pork chop. I don't recommend eating it. With 2 glass, a complex electronic, 2 iron ingots, 3 cobblestone, and a drill, you can make the scavenger. Place it down and give it some energy. And you can put items inside this slot, and after a little bit, they'll get scavenged, which means they can be broken down for some of their parts. You can see we're getting stone, or if I were to do a crusher, I'll get some iron, or a complex electronic. And you can see if I do a sign, I get wood. This is the salt flats biome. The salt flats biome is smaller than regular biomes, and it's completely made out of salt. And it's also a block lower than every other biome. And because the ground is made out of salt, you can break it to get a ton. And it can be crafted into salt blocks. It also tends to generate near meat biomes, so consider it seasoning. Also, look at these medical tents that are floating on the water. This is a lonely island of conspiracy theorists. Kinda reminds me of the internet. Ruckus is a hostile enemy that spawns pretty often, especially in the wasteland. Oh crap. I think I accidentally made it so salt biomes spawn the wither, so ignore that. But yeah, ruckuses drop leather and sometimes they drop meat. This can be smelted into cooked ruckus, which is pretty good. If you want to visit the pocket dimension in the early game, you can make a void ring with an ender pearl, tarnished conch, 2 opium, and a home ring. So yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.